Hi everyone, so today I thought I'll do a short video of sharing with you the new colors that I got from the Faber Castell Polychromos pencils that I have really enjoyed using, and in combination with watercolor or on its own as well. So I haven't tried them in florals yet, like botanical illustration or something like that, just to add a little bit of contrast or a little bit of detail, but I know some artists do that. What I predominantly use my polychromos is for face illustrations or doll illustrations, whichever one suits better. So I got 10 new colors, and I do have a previous video on my skin tones. So when I say skin tones, I basically went through the entire collection or the swatches on Jackson's art to see what colors I could pick up from that in skin tones, and I thought that some of them were dark enough to go as dark for a skin tone as I tend to paint, but one of them is a little bit odd. So anyways, let me just recap quite quickly. I'm just going to pick out those that I already had. So that was 6 pencils. Just put them down quickly. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. So we have white, we have ivory, then light flesh, then there is cinnamon, which is beautiful. It's one of my favorite skin tone colors. It's gorgeous. Then we have medium flesh, which is good as well, and then we have the dark flesh, which is not something I was expecting. As you can see on the camera, it comes out as a true color as it is, but so it's a lot pinker actually, and yeah, it's not what I expected to be dark. To be honest with you, I thought it'd be more something along lines of this, something like that, but this one is the Sanguine or Sanguine. I'm not sure how to pronounce this one. And yeah, so these are the 6 that I originally bought just to try different skin tones, see how I get on with them, and I did quite like them. So I'll briefly show you. So here we go. So here I used these pencils, just swatching them out. You can see this is the dark flesh, so in fact quite pink, on a pink side. You can sort of mix it with other colors. So here I added the cinnamon, light flesh, white, dark flesh, so different kind of colors going through to just try and shift the color proportions. But basically that's what we have here, quite simple. This I've done with watercolors, so I don't think... Oh, I did use a little bit of pencil just shading here, but predominantly this is what you're looking at. So now moving on, here are the 10 new colors. So funny enough, I got 5 colors which are within that kind of pinky red orangey color tone, very pretty. So originally when I was going to the art shop, I was going to pick up pinks and reds for the lips and the cheeks. When I was there, I actually struggled to pick pinks because I don't really like warm pinks. I do like cool tone pinks, so this one was really good. So this is the Pink Mother Lake, but it's sort of, it's like a bluish kind of pink. You can see it here in the swatch. It's lovely color, but a little bit artificial. So I tried to use it here, and it's kind of, unless you mix it with something else, it really sort of stands out, which can be quite good as a makeup look. Then we have the Rose Carmen, which is the warm toned pink, and at the moment I can't say I love it on its own, but perhaps mixing with others it could do a nice color variation. And I really struggled to pick any other pinks just because I don't know, they just weren't sort of speaking out to me. So if you have any pinks from the Polychromos that you really, really love, and they're lovely colors for cheeks and lips, do let me know, because so far that's the only two pinks I do have, and I would like to extend the pink spectrum a little bit more. So then moving on to the others, which is the dark cadmium orange. So that would be this one, also quite artificial for an orange. I didn't swatch out any of these, although I did see that they looked like they were swatched, but I just feel so bad swatching pencils because someone is going to buy it. It's not like a tester. There isn't a tester pencil that you can swatch. So I generally just look at the color like this, think that that's what it might end up, but of course it's a lot brighter. So again, mixing with something else would do probably an interesting color. The two together, I'd imagine, would be a nice color. Then, so I do like, so far, I really like the pink Madder Lake, and the next one that I really love is the red. So Scarlet Rat is the classic kind of warm-toned, beautiful, bright red. So I do love this pencil for sure, this color. And then I thought I'll go for something a little bit more muted, a little bit darker for red, and that is the middle cadmium red, and that's what it looks like on here. Again, not something I expected. I thought it'd be more warmer. Then, as I was there, I thought, let me pick a few more colors, and it's quite interesting because I'm lately into these sort of like a muted color palette, and these colors really spoke out to me, which is quite random. It's not something I would pick out on its own, you know, like this color, for example, is just a brown, or this color is another brown. So brown is not a color that I like to use either in watercolor or in anything in my paintings or illustrations in general. It's not a color I use. So I thought I'll go with the black just because black is great. I love black in my illustrations. I do use a lot of it, but predominantly from ink pens or fountain pens. So I thought, why don't I get a pencil and, you know, use it for the eyeliner or something like that, or a bit of a harsh shadowing or something. I could do for sure, but predominantly I got it for the eyeliner. So this is just a simple black. So that's what it looks like on a swatch here. It doesn't look too harsh. Sort of looks more like a dark grey, I'd say. It doesn't look extreme black. Then we have two colors which actually really surprised me. So these two colors, I heard about them, and I think this is probably why I got them. I heard about them from James Berg, and he mentioned these two colors quite often, the Sanguine and the Caput Mortuum, which really stuck with me because he does do a lot of darker skin tones. So I wanted to try it for contouring and things like that. So I thought that would be two great colors to add a bit of dimension to the makeup on the dolls. And I'm really happy I got them because particularly this one, the Sanguine, is just such an amazing color when it comes to illustrating the depth of the makeup. It's like a perfect color when it comes to like a foundation or a bit of a warm toned brown that you want to add into the crease, and you know, all of that lovely makeup stuff. It's great for that. So if you're into that, I would highly recommend. And actually, funny enough, this particular pencil I picked out on my own, and when I turned around to check the name, it was this one. So for Caput Mortuum I was actually looking for, and when I found it, I got it as well. So that's what they look like on the swatches over here. So on their own they don't look like anything too special, but I will show you in a minute what they look like when you work with them. So the next two I got just because I was really attracted to the colors, and that's the earth green, which is right here. Lovely color which I used here on the illustration, just coloring in the shorts. Hope you can see the shorts and the t-shirt stripes. And then finally I got a grey. Again, grey is something I really love. There are loads of greys to pick from: cool greys, light greys, dark greys. This particular one is a warm grey too, so there is also another color, A1, and I really liked it because it's a lovely color. I thought it would be great to use in mixing and blending. So here I want to show you a few things. So the grey I used here a little bit in the corners, and you can see it just adds a very, very subtle kind of shadow that you can work with. And then around the eye you can see this warm brown, and that is the Sanguine that I was mentioning before. It just does something very, very pretty. And here again around the eye, that's again Sanguine. Let me just bring it up. Let me just bring it up a bit closer. So here again you can see that lovely brown color, which is this one. So I even marked it that I love it. So you can see that it's on its own, it's not really that amazing, but when you blend it in and use it as a makeup kind of color, it really works quite well. And yeah, so it's great for contouring. Which one did I use? It's a little bit too warm for contouring, but if you blend it out, it would work as well. So, and the red looks amazing. So here it looks, this is what it looks like on the lips. And then in the middle, I left the white of the paper with then going in with the white pencil, and then just blending in the red into the white of the paper, which creates this beautiful highlight, kind of glossy look. So these are my thoughts on these new pencils, and you can see this is the 5 that I picked up in a very interesting color palette, and then of course very contrasting the pinks and the reds. So very subdued, great for mixing and kind of adding detail here and there. And then these obviously are self-explanatory. So yeah, you know, they are quite pricey. So one pencil is £1.80, where I got them from. So obviously for 10 pencils you end up paying £18. But I prefer to do it this way. So I go and pick the colors. Obviously these are the first ones. So I go and pick the colors in the color palette that I am interested in, and that way I avoid colors that I would never use, like a bright green or purples, things like that, that I don't need to have. So I think it's still quite economical to just, you know, go into an art shop and pick up 5 or 10 at a time and expand your Polychromos pencil collection that way. So there you go, that's just my little share with you. I hope there are some colors that really stood out to you and you really like. And yeah, so do let me know about the pinks and perhaps some oranges as well. And while you're at it, some reds. What are your favorites when it comes to those colors? Okay, thanks for watching and see you soon.